Hello everyone and welcome back. I had to re-record the intro to this video because when I did the process of showing you how to make this card, I lost my beginning intro. So here we are. I wanted to share how I use some playing cards to create these specimen cards. Super cute. Love how they turned out. I used acetate to create the window. I also use some basic dies here. This is what I used to cut that one out. I had a heart-shaped one. Here's the one that I use for the oval. You can use whatever die you have, whatever shape you would like to use. And then this is the one that I use for the sample. But they were really fun to make. I had some spare little pieces of acetate that I wanted to use that was perfect for this. To create the layer on the top, I had previously shown how I dyed some coffee filters using Dollar Tree markers and creating my own alcohol ink sprays. So I decided to use the red one for this one. And all I had done was have my playing card, and I had die cut out the shape. Now this is the one that you're gonna see in the rest of the video that I did manage to save. I did cut out the circle and ahead of time. Now I noticed that I used a regular old Mod Podge, but if you have that multi-matte medium that works on various surfaces, that would be best. I did not have that. I used the Mod Podge, but I did so I feel great that it stuck. Now you can also use napkins, because this is a napkin, very pretty napkin. And the images inside is a digital kit that I had purchased on Etsy called Entomology and Botanicals, Slides, Labels, Words, and Fussy Cuts. The Junk Journal Studio is the name of the store. And you can see they have quite a lot. I did use the mushroom, I used the moth, I used the ladybug, I used this flying insect, and I also used the bee. But you can find it on Etsy. And what I had done was I took the playing card and I used some sandpaper just to try to take away some of that glossy shine to it, that finished. So I did that, and then for the plastic, I used, these are upcycle for my traveler's notebooks. I used the plastic that I rip off from the back, and that's what I used for my window. So I think from there, I'm gonna let you continue on to the rest of the video. So sorry, lost the footage, but I managed to salvage it this way. All right, I'll catch you at the end of the video. All right, we are back. It has dried. I did prep one already, but all I did was cut a hole out in the center, leaving myself a little bit of border. And then we're gonna come and trim this off. So comes together fairly quickly. I think the longest part is the drying time. But if you do like I did with these and just do a bunch of them and just let them dry, it goes a lot faster. Now you see I left myself a little border, and that was to come in and just do little cuts all around. And the reason why I did that was because I wanted a clean finish on the inside of the circle that matched the same color, because as you can see, my base is green, and also I didn't want the white to show. So there we are. That's fairly fast. Now you could take wet glue or you could do glue stick, whichever one you want. Let me just turn this around. It's gonna be tacked better once we do the sandwich. But I just came around, just around the edge of the circle. And all I'm gonna do is put my finger in here and just pull those little tabs down. And as I do that, I'm gonna make sure that they stay down. Okay. There it is. So I'm just gonna hold that down because all I did was a light coating of glue. And that's what gives me that nice little finish along the edges there. So now comes the fun part. Make sure that you are directional and don't do what I did and get them mixed up. Now that piece of plastic, I just cut it in half. And we're going to start to assemble the sandwich. So I'm going to use art glitter glue. I am going to sew these. But if you are not going to sew or you don't have a sewing machine, you can still do this project. Just use a better glue that works well with plastic and different mediums. You know, that will give you a good adherence. So I'm pushing the glue away from the window, but I also want to make sure that it's nice and taut. It looks like I got something stuck in there. What is that? Okay, let's take that out. All right, nice and taut. There we are. I'm gonna come in with my ladybug, and I'm gonna make sure that it's centered. I'm just gonna do little dots of glue because I just want it to stay. And I did put glue on those. You don't see it because it does dry clear, but I didn't put a lot, but I just want it to stay in place. There we are. I'm gonna pick this up very carefully because the glue is still wet. And I want to take a look at what it looks like so far. So that's what it looks like on one side. Okay. I'm gonna come back, lift it very carefully. And then we're gonna glue the other piece of plastic on top of this one. So we have a nice finish, and I'm gonna do the same thing. Dots of glue so it doesn't move. Take that other piece and layer that on top. Now when I did these, I did it with acetate, and I did it with, you can see the glue just getting pushed out to the sides, and I'm fine with that. That's why I left the mat. And then we're going to glue this one on top. And I'm very heavy-handed with glue, so I can see why this is all coming loose, because that's just me. I do need to take a peek. And as you can see, I put my let's fix that. Okay. I have put my ladybug upside down. See how quickly you can get turned around? And then let's just make sure this one is where it needs to be, and it's gonna be even with the other card. So I'm gonna pick the whole thing up now, and I'm gonna make sure that edge to edge and top to bottom, it stays. Now I think it's against my better judgment to want to try and cut this, but I do want to trim it down just a little bit while it dries. Just makes it easier to grab. This one I lightly trim all that away. Now this is a very messy process at this point because I'm using plastic and not acetate and double-sided tape. So here we are. And I'm gonna let that dry. So I'm gonna pause the video, I'm gonna let that dry, and then we're gonna come back and do the finishing touches. Okay, I think it's good enough that I feel comfortable cutting. And yeah. Right now I'm just making sure I'm as aligned as I can be. Making sure my plastic is nice and straight and pulled. I think I'm a fan of acetate better than this plastic, but if you have the patience, everything is doable. I think it still comes out cute. So I'm gonna trim away the sides. And make sure all the excess is off. All right. And I see I misaligned here, so we're gonna shift and pull. I'm more concerned about where my edges land than what's on the sides. Now I'm gonna take this to my machine, and I am going to sew around the edges. But like I said, you can skip that step if you have a very good glue that you're using that works on plastic and different surfaces. But I'm gonna take mine to the sewing machine, and all of this will dry clear. Sorry about my voice, guys. I think I'm getting sick. It's flu season, right? Yep. Just want to trim this edge off. Clean it up, and then we'll come back and ink it. So let me take it to the sewing machine real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, so here it is. I did take it to my sewing machine, and I always say my sewing skills are the worst. And then of course my bobbin ran out of thread, so I had to go back, and it's even harder for me, let alone to sew in a straight line, but then to go into the same hole. So this will go into my idea book, but it is doable, it is workable. I think, I mean, it's sturdy. It was easier for my sewing machine to go through, but I do like the acetate feel better. And then you can punch a hole, you can leave it as is, you can add a tab, whatever it is that you want to use, you know. After that, I think I want to go, and I pulled out my letterpress stamps, and I think I want to stamp and these are the worst. I can't find my other ones, but I think I want to add a number. So I think I'll do this. All right, and then we'll add a number. Let's do, and you can do whatever stamping you want. If you want to do a background, if you want to do a background stamp to give it a pattern, you can do that. Oh, these are so hard to take out. Let's add that one right there next to it. So just to give you some ideas, this is really out of my normal crafting, but I'm trying to push myself just a little bit more, and to see what I can come up with. So here's the one we did together using the plastic from here, which I know I'm gonna have a lot of. So there is that one. You can stitch or no stitch. You can embellish it however you want. Here's the ones I did with acetate. And here is this one, and this one I added a little flower bead. This one has a key. This one has a little dangle out of bead spacers and little smaller beads. Here is a dangling flower in red. And then this one I added a bell with a little cluster of a clay bead and a bead spacer. So there it is. Of course, close-ups at the end. I hope you guys give it a try. Let me know what you think. What else do you do with your playing cards? I do have something in mind for the parts that I did die cut out of the playing cards. So that'll be coming up in a future video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you at the next video. Have an amazing day. Bye.